In the vastness of the night sky, humanity has always wondered what lies beyond our tiny blue planet. For millennia, humans have charted the stars, imagined other worlds, and dreamed of leaving Earth behind. What began as speculation and imagination eventually became one of humanity's greatest endeavors. This is the history of spaceflight. The idea of reaching space is as old as civilization itself. But space remained unreachable until the 20th century, when a new technology emerged, the rocket. An American physicist named Robert Goddard quietly laid the practical groundwork for modern rocketry. In 1926, Goddard launched the world's first liquid-fueled rocket. His pioneering work on gyroscopic stabilization, turbopumps, and multi-stage rockets anticipated nearly every major feature of modern launch vehicles. World War II accelerated rocket technology in a dramatic and terrifying way. The V-2 rocket, developed by Wernher von Braun and his team, became the first long-range guided ballistic missile. While it caused devastation, the V-2 also carried the technological seed that would eventually lead to human spaceflight. Its powerful engine and liquid fuel system proved that controlled high-speed flight beyond the atmosphere was possible. The space age officially began on October 4, 1957, when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial Earth satellite. That small, 83-kilogram orbiter circled our planet, broadcasting radio signals back home. Suddenly, space was no longer just a dream, it was real, reachable, and orbitable. Spurred by Sputnik, the world raced to catch up. Only weeks later, the Soviets launched Sputnik 2, carrying the dog Laika, the first living creature to orbit Earth. It was a somber but pivotal step, showing that biological life could survive launch and orbit. The next step was to put humans in space. On April 12, 1961, the Soviet spacecraft Vostok 1 carried Yuri Gagarin, the first human to orbit the Earth. That 108-minute orbit forever changed what was possible. For the first time, a human looked down at our planet from space. The Soviet effort did not stop there. A few years later, during the mission Vostok 2, cosmonaut Alexei Leonov performed the first-ever spacewalk, exiting his spacecraft and floating in the void. A breathtaking moment that demonstrated humans could survive, move, and operate outside their capsule. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the United States pushed forward with its own human spaceflight program, Project Mercury. From 1958 through 1963, Mercury's goal was to launch an American into orbit and bring him home safely. It laid the foundation for astronautics and orbited several pioneers of human spaceflight. But the ultimate prize, landing humans on another world, waited just ahead. On July 16, 1969, the Saturn V rocket rose from the Kennedy Space Center, shaking the ground beneath it. Standing 110 meters tall and weighing over 3,000 tons, The Saturn V produced a thunderous 34 million newtons of thrust, burning fuel at an astonishing rate as it clawed its way skyward. Once in orbit, the spacecraft was carefully prepared for the journey to the Moon. 3 days later, the lunar module Eagle separated from the command module and began its descent. After a tense descent marked by computer alarms and dwindling fuel, the Eagle touched down on the Moon's surface.
The Eagle has landed.
Hours later, Armstrong descended the ladder and placed his boot onto the powdery lunar soil, becoming the first human to walk on the Moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Moments later, Buzz Aldrin joined him on the surface. The Apollo 11 astronauts collected lunar samples, deployed scientific instruments, and proved that humans could survive and work beyond Earth. Watched live by hundreds of millions of people around the globe. The moon landing was not just a technological triumph, it was a profound moment for our species. It showed that with vision, cooperation and courage, humanity could turn ancient dreams into reality. Over the next few years, a total of 12 humans, all Americans across 6 separate Apollo missions, walked on the Moon. With lunar rocks returned, pictures and data collected, the dream of stepping on another world briefly became a reality. But as the 1970s progressed, priorities shifted. The era of global competition began to give way to longer-term experiments, stations in orbit, and exploration beyond the Moon. The post-Moon era saw a burst of robotic missions, satellites, and exploratory probes. The United States sent Pioneer 10 past Jupiter in 1973, followed by Pioneer 11 to Saturn in 1979. These mechanical pioneers carried cameras, sensors, and ambition to worlds humanity had only dreamed of. In the 1980s, Voyager 2 ventured past Uranus and Neptune, sending back images and data of alien landscapes. As the 1970s turned into the 1980s, a new vision of spaceflight took hold: regular, reusable access to orbit. The launch of Space Shuttle Columbia in April 1981 marked the first time a spacecraft designed to be reused was launched and returned successfully, a dramatic shift from one-time rockets toward more routine space travel. The shuttle was a marvel of engineering, combining features of both a rocket and an aircraft. It consisted of 3 main components: the orbiter, which carried astronauts and cargo, the external fuel tank, which supplied liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen to the main engines, and 2 solid rocket boosters that provided the immense thrust needed to escape Earth's gravity. Its 3 main engines could produce over 37 million newtons of thrust during launch, and its heat-resistant tile system allowed safe re-entry through the atmosphere. With the ability to carry up to 24,400 kilograms into low Earth orbit, and land like a conventional airplane, the shuttle truly transformed access to space. Almost a decade later, on April 25, 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope was launched aboard Space Shuttle Discovery. From its perch above Earth's atmosphere, Hubble offered an unobstructed view of the cosmos, capturing breathtaking images of galaxies, nebulae, and distant stars. Its discoveries have reshaped astronomy, revealing the age of the universe, the existence of dark energy, and the intricate details of planets and galaxies far beyond our solar system. Hubble showed humanity that the universe is far richer and more complex than we had ever imagined. The end of the Cold War brought a new era: international cooperation. The International Space Station became a symbol of what humanity could achieve when it worked together. Orbiting at 400 kilometers above Earth, the ISS has hosted astronauts continuously since 2000, providing a laboratory for research that cannot be conducted on Earth. The International Space Station, travelling nearly 28,000 kilometers per hour, is a marvel of international collaboration and engineering. It consists of multiple modules, each built and provided by different countries or continents. These modules were launched and assembled piece by piece in orbit, creating a versatile laboratory for science, technology, and human habitation. The station's massive solar arrays generate electricity, while gyroscopes, thrusters, and visiting spacecraft maintain its orientation, allowing crews to live and work in space for extended periods and conduct research that prepares humanity for future deep space exploration. Today, spaceflight is entering yet another revolution, one led not only by nations but by private companies. SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others are pushing the boundaries of cost, efficiency, and possibility. Reusable rockets, commercial crewed flights, and plans for Moon and Mars settlements are no longer science fiction. They are active projects shaping our near future. Our journey into space is far from over. From the first beeps of Sputnik to the rovers exploring distant worlds today, humanity has proven that curiosity knows no bounds. The stars await, and the next chapter of spaceflight is ours to write. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video about the history of spaceflight, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what topic you would like to see next.